Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Tropical Update number 13 on what is now Category 1 Hurricane Elsa. Elsa was upgraded to a hurricane earlier this morning, which prompted hurricane warnings to be issued for St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, southern Haiti from Port-au-Prince to the border with the Dominican Republic, as well as Barbados, which has since been downgraded to a tropical storm warning, as Elsa is already made the center of the storm, has made its way past all of the Lesser Antilles. Tropical storm warnings also remain in effect for Martinique, Dominica, the southern Dominican Republic from Cabo Agnano to the border with Haiti, and then from northern Haiti from Port-au-Prince to the northern border with the Dominican Republic, as well as Jamaica. Hurricane watches are in effect for the southern Dominican Republic from Punta Palenque to the border with Haiti, as well as all of Jamaica. Tropical storm watch remain in effect for Grenada and its dependencies, Saba and Saint. I'm not even going to try that. And the northern Dominican Republic from Cabo Agnano northward to the north border with Haiti. As I mentioned, Elsa strengthened significantly overnight, and we see on its satellite presentation right now the storm looks very well. Great cirrus outflow, especially to the north side of the system. The inner core appears to be developing, at least on satellite, pretty well. Perhaps the beginnings of an eye wall as well. So something we're going to continue to watch. Good amount of convection with the storm. Definitely not a small storm either. So it's something we're definitely going to continue to keep an eye on. The latest aircraft actually went in this morning as this storm was strengthening. As we see here, the pressure is 1,004 millibars, which is really, really high for a hurricane strength storms. The maximum wind speeds were probably around 45, maybe a bit more, 50 or 55 miles an hour, adjusted to be on the ground. And so what exactly happened? So that weather station, that big blue barb sticking out of Barbados, when the storm passed just to the south of it, recorded hurricane force winds, thus its upgrade to a hurricane. And it appears that the mid-level center of the storm is just not that well developed because of the super quick forward speed that Elsa is taking on right now. It's just moving so quickly, the mid-level center isn't holding up too well at the moment. So that will limit its strengthening for now. People have joked that this is a tropical wave with hurricane force winds, which is kind of what it is without a proper center of a storm like it's supposed to have. But alas, here we are. We have another Hurricane Hunter heading into the storm as we speak. In fact, by the time this is posted, we'll probably have the first readings of that Hurricane Hunter. There will be an upper level Hurricane Hunter mission later this afternoon. Once again, looking at the potential impacts down the line, we see Saturday morning impacts to Hispaniola, probably all of it by the time Saturday is over. And we continue into Sunday. It's going to be Saturday night, all day Sunday, and probably even into Monday that all of Cuba gets affected by Elsa before making its way into Florida. Right now, Southwest Florida is probably the target for Elsa in the United States, but really everywhere throughout the western coast of Florida is its landfall point, as it's going to be moving relatively parallel to it. So the exact moment when it moves inland is where the landfall will be. So it could be quite some time. Rainfall is also going to be an issue with this storm, especially in the mountainous terrain of Hispaniola. We're going to see 4 to 8 inches, isolated to 15. That's also the amounts expected for much of the Windward and Leeward Islands as well. 1 to 3 inches, isolated to 5 for Puerto Rico. We'll have numbers for Cuba, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Florida soon, but not yet. They're still a little too far away to have numbers on that. No tornadoes have been predicted by the Storm Prediction Center yet, but do expect those predictions to come in here in the next few days as Elsa makes its approach to the United States. There's another map of our watches and warnings in effect at the moment for Hurricane Elsa. There are no storm surge watches or warnings in effect at the moment, but I do have this slide ready because it's probably going to occur soon. As soon as we see those hurricane and tropical storm watches, if they get issued for the United States, we'll also probably see some storm surge watches for Florida as well. But that's not to say storm surge is not a concern. 1 to 3 feet of storm surge for the Windward Islands. We're looking at 2 to 4 feet across the southern coast of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The latest models have, like I said, look to be coming in more agreement, but still we have a wide range of possibilities, anywhere from splitting the Yucatan Channel to going up through the Bahamas and out to sea. But it's looking more and more like a Floridian event. Again, like I said, Southwest Florida, the western coast of Florida, needs to be paying very close attention to this storm. The good news is not much crazy strengthening is expected between the time that it leaves Cuba and enters Florida. But let's talk about what it's going to do over the next 2 days. So tomorrow it's going to be south of Hispaniola, maybe strengthen a little bit. We could potentially see a Category 2, but my guess is it'll remain a Category 1 hurricane for then. Then it's going to make its way between Jamaica and Cuba, most likely, where it's going to be interacting with the mountainous terrain of both Jamaica and Cuba. It might make landfall on a little bit of Haiti before doing that. But at that point, it's going to be around where it is right now in terms of strength, a minimal Category 1 hurricane. Of course, no hurricane is minimal. But then it's going to interact with all the mountains in Cuba, which could lead it to strengthen or weaken several miles an hour, and it may even go back down to a tropical storm strength system. We could see a hurricane out of this, and it could remain a hurricane as it crosses Cuba. My guess is it weakens a little bit as it crosses Cuba and then re-strengthens after it leaves Cuba, potentially back up to hurricane, maybe not, before making landfall somewhere in Florida and then making its way affecting the United States southeast. So that's something that we're watching right now. Here's a couple other models just to show you guys the spread. Again, anywhere from the Yucatan Channel all the way to the Bahamas are where we're watching for the potential track of this system only 3 or 4 days away from now. So the track is still very variable at the moment, but again, it's looking like a Florida event. And there's GEFS on the left-hand side here. Shows a model situation more close to not affecting Southwest Florida and more affecting the Florida Panhandle. So that's something we're going to want to continue to watch. We see generally it's on a southward track. If it's to the south of the cone, it's going to be the Florida Panhandle. If it's to the north of the cone, it's probably going to be southern Florida. So you see on the GFS ensembles here, and it goes through Jamaica and then hits western Cuba instead of more central-ish Cuba before making its way to the Florida Panhandle. So lots of different solutions still on the table here, and we will be continuing to monitor each of these as we learn more. I apologize for the graphic on the right not being too much up to date. The reason for that is we're just the models are having trouble adjusting to the new strength of this storm that was recently discovered this morning. The European ensembles still relatively all over the place. They're favoring that more potentially Florida Panhandle type storm that has a couple other storms on this map as well, potentially storms spinning up in around the Yucatan, potentially Elsa continuing, or another storm spinning up between the East Coast and Bermuda. But for now, what we're watching are those main tracks of Elsa. The European tends to dissipate this system on most iterations of the models, as we see right here near Cuba. This area where my cursor isn't really really shows that the European model wants to dissipate Elsa. So again, that comes back to the initialization strength, not as strong as it originally was intended to be, or as it is. So we're going to continue to watch and see exactly what happens as these models adjust to the new changes and what we know more about Elsa as these aircraft continue into Elsa. And that'll give us some more information about what exactly will happen with this storm. We're going to take a look at the H-Wharf model. This is one of my favorites for hurricane projections. We again see just around Haiti, moving up through west central Cuba, and then making its way paralleling the western Florida coast before making landfall in Florida, remaining relatively somewhere in hurricane strength, potentially even a Category 2 there south of Haiti, but then back to low end around Category 1 hurricane to a strong tropical storm. So something before making landfall in Florida. So that's something we're going to want to continue to watch. I particularly like this model, but again, the initialization on this is a little too weak for what Elsa actually is right now. So that's something we're going to continue to monitor over the next few iterations of the models, again, as they adjust to the new strength of Elsa. But again, the general forecast should remain relatively the same. Here's the GFS model over the next week. We see much the same forecast here, moving over Jamaica before making its way up into the Big Bend area of Florida. So this is kind of an intermediary between the two forecasts that I was talking about earlier, the Panhandle or Southern Florida. But those are this shoots the gap between the middle, something I just wanted to show you guys real quick as well. We'll have another update tomorrow morning. We'll also have another update on Saturday evening to update you guys on how Elsa is doing. Again, by the time we get to tomorrow evening, this storm is going to be south of Haiti already, which means it's really going to continue to be moving fast to that point, and around tomorrow night is when it's going to finally slow down, as you see those dots on the map get a lot closer together between Saturday and Monday morning than they are between now and Saturday night. Anyways, guys, stay safe. Continue to monitor the weather. Remember, you can be impacted even if you are outside of the cone. But of course, those inside the cone need to continue to monitor the system very, very closely, as not only winds, but also rain will be a big concern with this storm. That's all for now. Chris Dixon, InfoWeather, Catholic Media.